but we record just from here on. So we're in the middle of this.
Oh, I see.
At the middle of this book, Vietnam Garden. Can you tell me,
Yes.
Judith, Vietnam Garden? How was this piece received in the period when it was done, 1968?
You know, I'll tell you something, the piece was done in 1968, and I have to say that it was never shown at the time. I did not have a vehicle to show my work. And later on, when this was shown in 2008 at Mitchell Alga's gallery, the Whitney Museum bought it. And it was all my Vietnam work was shown only at a much later date, by the way, almost 50 years later. And this one, of course, has to do with it was a Union Jack-off flags that I made a series of, and these phalluses are tombstones, so they're crosses, and they're a Jewish star on one of them, and it's all about the sadness of the Vietnam War, and certainly anti-Vietnam.
When you say there was no possibility of showing it. Why was that? 1968. You were rejected by museums?
No, there was no rejection. It's just that I had no vehicle. And what happened was, when I came to New York, there were very few opportunities for women, and certainly work that was political and sexual. There was really no work at all. I hit a glass wall. And what happened was that women like myself, who had gone to graduate school, and I had gone to Yale, had no recourse in terms of showing. So we started a gallery called AIR Gallery, which was the first feminist gallery in New York. And and then I started showing these screw drawings at that time. Yes.
So in which year was that when you found it?
When we started AIR, it was 1972, and that's when AIR started. And they originally were trying to figure out a name for the gallery, and I said, let's use TWAT, 20 women artists together. But of course, at the time, I didn't expect them to go for it, which they did not. But nevertheless, that's what we started out doing.
Yeah.
These
show again biographical part. Just
yes.
because I missed it in the recording before. So,
sure.
So it's here in the book. I tell again also that the principle is glossy paper on one side and matte.
I love the glossy on one side and a matte on another, and it was just your brilliance, Patrick, that made that possible. I think that is really super. It was just a brilliant take on how the book was, and it really is just excellent. Yeah.
Well, it was actually the idea of Crispin Hay, the graphic designer.
The piece on the left, this large horizontal piece. No, it's not that piece. It's the other one. Yeah, that was done in 1973, and that was horizontal. But nevertheless, it's shown vertical in this book, and I'm fine. Well, it's upside down. Turn it 360. Yes, thank you very much. Great. And this piece was a very large piece. It is 9 feet by 12 feet. And it was a piece that was censored in Philadelphia in a very big show. Yeah.
When was that? In which year?
And that was in 1974. It was censored.
Okay, so that was just going back to the catalog,
sure.
Where 1970. So we would be, there's some more. We're still in the Vietnam War, right?
Yes, yeah. But I was doing a lot of these screw drawings at this period of time. Yes, it basically was like, it was a hardware series, and it was screwing, being screwed. And also your suggestion, which I thought was fabulous also, is that you mentioned all the names, and I love to nail what I'm trying to say with a title. And you have hardware, horizontal screw, cock screw, hardware circle screw, and it is like it's like a poem. So I think it's like a concrete poetry. So I think that you were brilliant in terms of using that in addition, because it's very important in terms of my work. Yeah.
One has to say that you partially didn't have titles yet for your drawing.
I did have, well, I had titles, but the titles were more, they were more of the period, like horizontal, vertical, 4-panel vertical, so and so. These pieces, the piece on the right is on my right, that's your left, by the way. That piece is in the head, and those were done much later. Those were done in the sexuality is in the head. So you have here a cock coming out of the head, and you also have the eyeballs many times as balls, by the way, as scrotum. So I made these funny things. They're funny, and yeah. And so, it nails the male patriarchy. Yeah. Yes.
Like when you showed the piece in Philadelphia, it was
right.
You hanged it and then it was removed, the screw?
Well, no. What happened was that the piece was shown in a photograph, and it was never hung. It was never hung or placed in it. It was censored before. That's right. And this was a giant piece, and it was censored in Philadelphia, and there was 88 artists, and they were well-known artists. They were critics and stuff, and how
did they react? I mean, the colleagues.
Yes. Hold on a second. I'm somehow gotten out of this Zoom thing. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can see you.
I'm so,
no
somehow I have hit the keyboard, and I'm somehow out of it somehow. Let me see.
Maybe you just don't see me anymore, probably.
Yes, I don't see you, but you can hear me. Can you see me?
Yeah, but you should.
I need support. I don't know if Emily is on the line.
I'm here, Judy.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
I've hit the keyboard by mistake. So
therefore,
what do I do?
If you bring the mouse down to the bottom of the screen, and click on the Zoom icon again.
Okay, here we are. I'm fine now. Good. Thank you, Emily.
Okay. Of course.
Great.
We were about this censored piece in Philadelphia, and I wanted to ask you, like, how did your colleagues that's actually also the cover of the book.
Oh, I love the cover, Dicks of Death. Yeah, Judith Bernstein.
How did the you said there were 88 artists involved?
There were a lot of artists involved. There were people like Louise Bourgeois, Elise Nevelson, many well-known artists, and also artists who were up-and-coming artists like myself. Yeah.
And so they were. How did the colleagues? Were you the only artist being censored?
Yes, I was the only artist being censored. Yes, that's correct. Yes, and what happened was that people who were curating the show, Marcia Tucker, then of the Whitney Museum, Adeline Breeskin of the National Gallery, Anne Donnincourt of the Philadelphia Museum, Lila Katzen, a sculptor, and also Cindy Nemser from the Feminist Art Journal. They were a composite group that figured out, there was a panel of 80, they figured out 88 artists that would be a good place to show this work, and it was called Focus. And it was great because at that period of time, 1974, we needed something to show the world that women were not second class. They had extraordinary art. They did extraordinary art, and that's what this show was about. although my work was censored. Oh, my favorite, one of my favorites.
Yeah, go on. Although
yes,
your work was
yes,
censored.
it gives you the scale, this piece, which is wonderful.
Yes.
And yes, that was the show that I had at AIR Gallery. I had the first show of the gallery. It was in 1973, October 1st, and that was an installation at AIR Gallery. They named the gallery AIR because Howardina Pindell, an artist, had said, how about Jane Eyre for name of the gallery that was a co-op? And we said, oh, AIR, that would be great. AIR is an anachronism for artist in residence, and the fire department would come in, and if there was a fire, they would make sure that the artists were out. Yeah. But anyway, that would show you what the work looked like and the scale of it. And 5-panel vertical is great in there too. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, just about the Philadelphia, did the colleagues react on the censorship? Right. I mean, was there any kind of solidarity with your being
enormous? Yes, yeah. There was enormous amount of solidarity with all the artists in the show, as well as the whole art world. And you had people who were Betsy Baker, who was the editor of Art in America. We had, I think she was Art News at that point in time. We had Tom, curators from the Guggenheim Museum and the Met Museum, and all these people signed petitions that my work should be included in the show, but it never was.
Okay.
It was censored by the people at this Philadelphia Civic Center, but it was also censored. It was also went all the way up to Mayor Rizzo, who was a very reactionary mayor in Philadelphia. This, I'll put this one up. This is fun. The one on the bottom, it's the double header. That was shown at the Stavanger Museum in Norway, where I had a solo show in 2017. And the ones on the right are installations from Bill Copley, a well-known collector, and he owned Man Ray's Lips, etc. And he was a friend. And I did a direct drawing on the wall at Bill Copley's townette that was near the Guggenheim Museum. And the one on the bottom is right next to a Duchamp. And it also has a screw drawing that mirrors the screw bed that Bill had. That was his bedroom. And Bill, someone had asked me in a panel, if I try to make the screw more effective, and Bill Copley said, if you can do that, you quit art and make a fortune. But anyway, that was done directly on his wall.
Okay. Well, that's the next.
Oh, these are details of paintings. Yes, there are the phallics, and not only that, this book is a Dick book, so it's just perfect. The couple drawings here, the Kunst Museum in Zurich bought the piece recently, the piece that is on your left. And the Yolis Gallery is the installation. That's the installation at a gallery that I had in Manhattan in 1978. Yeah.
Migros Museum bought this one?
Yes. Yeah. The Kunstmuseum in Zurich bought that one. Yes. They bought that recently. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, really? When did they buy it?
They bought it in
now.
Yes, somewhat not maybe 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
When you had your show here in Zurich.
Yes, that's correct. When I had my exhibition in Zurich, that's correct. At Carm International. Yes.
Those are beautiful. Those half-cocks. Can you say something?
Oh, they're so wonderful. You know what they were? They were small. They were drawings done in pencil, and they were done on manila colored paper. They were hand done paper, and they're just very charming, and they are you know, drawings of phalluses. Yeah.
I just have my dog.
You can't have enough cocks in a book. That's all I have to say.
Yes, but there are coming other. Wait, let me go on. Tell me, did you work? Did you work a lot in this Corona period of?
Yes, I have. Matter of fact, I sent some photographs. I've done a couple. I've done.
You can look at them.
Yeah.
You can look at them.
Oh, good.
Because we cannot record when you go on Zoom, you cannot record when you show the screen. I don't know. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
So
it didn't work there. This one we saw, yes, and we'll go to the next one. This one we just saw. Yeah. Oh my God. We have go to the next one. Yeah. Go to the next one. That's a double header. Yeah, and that double header was shown not only at the Stavanger Museum, but at the Bonner Kunstverein in Germany. I made a series anti-Donald Trump, and this is our president, and you have him. He is a cunt, by the way. So you have All American Spread Eagle, and the vaginal area is the presidential seal, and you see him with the Hitler mustache and a swastika as a tattoo on his face. Yeah,
it's amazing.
And this show I had at Paul Kasman Gallery in 2017.
So we get all American.
We'll show you. Yeah. These will bring you more up to date on some of the things that I'm doing. Yes.
All American Spread Eagle.
All American
is very obscene, right? Spread Eagle.
You know something? You can't be obscene enough in this time. Yes.
Yes, it's true. The reality is so obscene.
You know, right now, every work is in your face, and it's a reality that is imperative. And of course, Donald Trump is completely obscene in every way. Not only can't even say the way he governs, because there's really nothing.
The
New York Times had said that he was worse than Caligula, because at least Caligula got something done. That Paul Krugman did that at the Times. Yeah. Let's show another one from the new. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
It's a while that you paint paintings in this style, in this quite aggressive, colorful style, and it's so amazing that reality joined your painting style,
Well, also
power politics in America, it got more and more obscene and drastic, and so it's really. So that's the next one.
Yes, this one actually is in my studio as we speak. What I did was there's Birth Universe, and there's two cunts there, and guys there's a crown on one of the cunts. Guys have their own jewels on the left, but women have the crown, and it's cockeyes cunt face on the left, and on the right it's called blue balls. That one is a combination of male and female within the same organ. And at this point in time, people can make their own life. They can construct their own life. And also they now can actually have operations to actually construct their own fantasies. So it's hard to see through this, but their work that is fluorescent. So it's hard. It's harder to see within the screen. Yeah.
No. Just
let's see another. Good. Yes. And this one is, as I said, blue balls on the right side of the screen. Yeah. Good.
And those are say again.
They're dicks, and they also have a female image in the middle. They are more abstracted, so they look more like a Miro, but nevertheless they are dicks. They are dicks with a cunt inside them. So they're a combination of male and female imagery put together.
Okay.
And it's kind of sex on a continuum.
Just tell me something to this color. You use
Yes. I use fluorescent paint. Yes, I use fluorescent paint, and I also not only do I use the fluorescent paint, I also light it with with black light, and that gives it a really pop. It just comes right out, and it just screams. As the imagery screams, the image screams.
So that's the purpose. That's the reason why you use this fluorescent paint.
Yes, you know something.
Black light.
Well, I think that it has. I think it has enormous impact, and it also is surreal because this time frame with Donald Trump is surreal. I made a connection with those imagery that the birth of the universe is connected to the natural birth that women have. So it's also very surreal in terms of that. So I made a connection between women, the birth that women have, and also the birth of the universe.
Okay.
So there's a lot of metaphors, a lot of subtext. Yeah.
That's the next one.
Yes. This one is called Death Universe, and I originally had it done because I did it because I thought of Donald Trump being absolutely horrid in terms of egging on Kim Jong-un and perhaps starting World War III, as well as black holes eating each other. Now I'm thinking Death Universe is really about the pandemic, and not only this pandemic, but pandemics that will come after this.
Okay, can you explain what's happening exactly?
Well, you know something, here you have a stake going through the vagina and the teeth, and then you have
so that's a vagina dentata, right? It's with teeth.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. It's the dentata, but it's also women have teeth, and it makes that metaphor. And also because they are not the passive things that many people think women are. And it has a big phallus there, and the big phallus is actually about the hydrogen bomb, and certainly with that kind of Death Universe, it would be like such destruction. It couldn't be. The painting itself has an enormous amount of fluorescent yellow paint, and under fluorescent light, it's a real killer. It's a real killer painting.
How big is this painting?
This painting is about 10 feet by 15 feet. Sorry, I'm using American.
It's 10 feet.
10 feet high and 15 feet wide.
So wait, it's 10 feet is 3 meters, and
yes.
15 it's 4.5 meters and 3 meters.
Yes. 3 meters high and 4.5 meters wide.
Really
yes. And also what happens when you make work that's very large, it infantilizes the person who's watching it. So it has enormous amount of moxie. It's a killer look. And you also get, I love to control the whole environment so that when you're in this environment, you feel the extraordinary power of it, and you mean
in the black light?
Yes, in the black light, and also there are other paintings in it, and you get the feeling of being in a celestial space that is quite extraordinary. Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's a couple more there that I'd like to show in terms of on your little yeah.
This other one you sent?
Yes. I'm doing the series now that's gaslighting. I left out the H, by the way, but I think this is perfectly fine. It's too long a word. Gaslighting is really about a psychological abuse. And you have Donald Trump does that when he says, oh, no, I didn't say that. It undermines the credibility of another person. But also women do that to women, men do that to women, and so on. So you have the symbol of a man and the symbol of a woman, and they keep doing this gaslighting. And it was taken from a movie. It's an American movie with Ingrid Bergman, and it's it's a movie that was made in 1944, and it's quite a, and when Charles Boyer plays her husband, who plays the gaslighting role and tries to make her feel that she is going crazy. And it's used now as a term.
Like getting somebody think that you get crazy also, right?
That's correct. You see, what happens is your reality is undermined by the other person. Oh no, by the way, that didn't happen. Oh no, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's a very strong form of abuse. Yeah. Then there's another one too.
Yes.
After this, hot hands.
Hot hand.
A hot hand is it's actually a term that basketball players use. It is a term where when someone is doing a great job in basketball, getting a lot of the basketball in the hoop, they like to pass it to that guy because they think that he has more chance of getting it than someone who doesn't have a hot hand. But I've used that as it's a lucky hand, it's in basketball, it's ball in the hoop, which is sexual, striking hand, rallies, protests, and then I've gotten into George Floyd and all the other Black Lives Matter things. So I've kind of taken it like a graffiti and like telephone. It's one thing leads to something else, leads to something else. But I like the term hot hands, and it can be abusive, and it also can be a lucky hand. And it can be about art too. The person who is doing a great job and really getting into the psyche of the time, the zeitgeist of the time, will continue doing that over and over. So myself has a hot hand. So it's I've used that. I've used that a lot. Yeah, good. Yeah. So these are current pieces that I've been doing right now.
And they are still with you in your studio.
Yes. Yeah, they're still, and that will be my next book with you, by the way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And they're also what I like about it is that I keep the humor with my work, because humor is a wonderful thing, and laughing is almost like an ejaculation. Laughing, by the way, is something that nails what you say. And also, it makes it much more acceptable than when things there. I talk about what is currently happening, but I do it with humor, and I nail it. And I try to make the most impact I can visually, as well as with a title. And these pieces, I put the title within the work.
Yeah, I think you really have a tremendous sense of humor. And,
yes.
And as you combine those very strong images and very aggressive images,
very aggressive, yes,
with sense of humor, it's already in the first Vietnam drawings.
Yes,
right. There is a lot of sense of humor, even if they're very aggressive and subversive.
Yes. You know, it's funny because I mean, I did these Union Jack-off flags. And of course, and I had those are in the beginning, and they're really just extraordinary pieces.
Which year are they?
They are 1966 to 68. They're in the beginning. They're probably 1968 there.
Yeah, they're in the.
And that was the worst time of the war, 1968.
It must be. Are they on this double thread?
Yes, this is a good one. We saw this before. There's one on the middle of the page that says Uncle Sam balls Vietnam and gets VD, venereal disease, not the Viet Cong, VC. Yeah. And there's another one is baby. The Soldier's Christmas in Vietnam, the one next to it, and that one is baby, the fucking you get ain't worth the fucking you take. And those are very large paintings, and they're sculptural. There's another one that's there's a couple more that are in there. It should be 68. Maybe turn the page to the left, turn the next page. No, let's go back. Maybe it's try one going back. Yeah.
Well, one back.
Yeah, let's try one back, see if that has it in there. I'm not sure. Matter of fact, I have the book here. I can look at it. Yes. Go farther down. Yes, this is perfect. The one that says Vietnam Salute, it's on top of the fun gun. No, it's on top of the fun gun painting. Go farther down and go to the left. Yeah, a little, no. It's on top of the fun gun painting. Move the, yeah. It's on top of the fun gun painting.
Here.
Yeah. Yes. This one is gigantic. The Vietnam Salute, which is a gigantic piece, and that one I redid with Dicks of Death with the Mary Boone Show, and that one was Vietnam Salute. It has a lot of flags in it. It is a Union Jack of Salute, and the other two are the ones that have the dick for a head and dick head. Yeah.
So
there's also a nice one on that page that has the flying cock, the guy with the cock that's attached to the White House, which is a graffiti on top. That's attached to the White House. Yes, yeah. And that's a series that I made from the super cock, super zipper, and Viet cock. And that was a nice series to get the feeling of the machismo. And there is also one in the center of the page that's Fuck by Number in Vietnam, and that one was actually was one of the additional pieces that was in the show at the recent show at the Smithsonian, and that one has Fuck by Number in Vietnam so far, and it's a you connect the dots. You connect the dots as they go across. Yeah.
So maybe we go a little bit.
Yeah. Sure.
A little bit further in the book.
Sure.
So then, yeah.
The Lord's signature. Yes. You know, this one I did.
We already talked about a half an hour.
Yeah. Well, you know something.
Signature works.
Well, you know, I always like my signature, but also the signature was important because this one was gigantic. It was 16 feet by 45 feet. And it was done directly on a wall, and it was at Hillwood Art Museum. And what I did was I put women at the center, and it also has to do with stardom. It has to do with male posturing. It has to do with putting women at the center. And it also has to do with my own ego. Oh, heart. The one on the top, the dance, is actually a takeoff on Matisse's dance, and these are dancing cocks, the ones on the right, the top, and those dancing cocks are their takeoff on Matisse's dance. Yes, yeah.
Sure.
And yes, and in that painting you don't see the male phalluses in Matisse's two paintings, but nevertheless, it is. Where are the dancing cocks? They're right in my painting.
And it's all done, when I have to say, it's done with charcoal, right?
Yes, well, that one is actually done with graphite. It is a very dark, high number graphite. So that one is done with graphite. Yeah.
Graphite. And it's, yeah. And then we go,
Yeah, I did a lot of word pieces. You see heart there too. Yes, and we have star, we have force, we have black holes, we have evil, and I did a fair amount of I did justice, which is right in the middle, justice, eros, also equality, which are which I have.
What can you free,
Yeah.
cup, Judith,
Yes.
eros, just
Yeah.
white ray, hell,
That's right. Rage. Yeah.
cubic fears, force,
Yeah.
male, female, white rose,
Yeah.
and black hole.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And these are all with charcoal, and they're very large. It's hard to see in here the scale of them, but they are about 3. Some of them are 8 foot square, and some of them are about 4 by 5 foot square. Yeah.
Well, we
Not
have
square. It's really a rectangle. Yeah.
we have some installation views. Maybe. Yeah, we have this one here, but still, they also look incredible in the small size. You know, we have another one. Wait, what is it?
You know, I'll tell you something. Because my work is so graphic, it works very well if it's the size of a postage stamp, and it also works very well when it is the scale that it is. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a show I had at AIR.
I think one can transform them in. If you look at them, you can transform them in a gigantic size, and you can imagine. But still, art has to be seen in live. You know.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a book. It's that's why
this is not just a book. And as a matter of fact, a dealer came down here and said, this is an artist book, because it really is. Yes. And some of these are actually small paintings, and they are magic marker on they're on fluorescent paintings. And these are Dick on a head. Yeah. Dick on a head. Yeah. Dick on a head. Yeah.
Just wanted to share.
It's amazing the range that you can get when you're focusing in on some specific stuff.
Yeah, there are more words.
Yes, torture, suicide, etc. Yes, word pieces, torture and suicide. Yeah, yeah.
Did they also, those words, the choosing of those words, the selection of those words reflect politics of the time?
Yes.
Was torture in relation to the Iraq
to the Iraq? That's right. That's exactly right. On the Iraq and Afghanistan war. That's correct, by the way. Yeah. You know, I found that my work in a way is autobiographical, because I think of what I want to say, and then I go into the subconscious and try to figure out what would be a visual manifestation of it. But many times I just go by instinct and later on figure it out. Yes, this was a piece that I did at an Alex Zachary gallery in New York, and I did my signature all over the place. I did my Judith and Bernstein all over, and it was a remarkable piece. It was done with charcoal, and I did that in 2009. And downstairs, I had a movie which was called The Horse's Mouth. It's a book by, it's a movie that has Alec Guinness in it. And it is about a very eccentric artist. And Alec Guinness is just beyond hilarious in it. And what happens is he lives on a houseboat. He goes into these collectors' homes, and he totals the place. They went on vacation. They come back. The place is just a wreck. And he eventually winds up, by the way, having a show at the British Museum. So it's an artist fantasy, and is also my fantasy too.
There you can see the relation.
Right. Oh yes. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. You can see the scale.
Of the
yes.
Vietnam.
Yes. Vietnam salute. Yes.
We saw small.
Yeah.
But
Hauser and Wirth bought the whole show out, except for one piece, the vaginal piece that Paul McCarthy bought. Yeah.
I want to go to two pieces, and then we end.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's great.
Just to, there's a collection of the dicks in a head.
Right.
Which is what I think is so nice about this book is that it also becomes an ornament, you know, like
yes.
cute. It's cute and beautiful. And then if you go closer and you see what it is actually,
right? Yes.
Aggressive again. So it's
yes. And this one, if you turn the page, you can see one that's very large. Turn the page back. Turn the page back, I think. Yeah.
That's, you mean one page?
No, I guess I thought it was one page. Turn, because it has a large dick in the head on that one.
Ah, right. Well,
yeah.
I wanted to show this as the next page.
Yes. And this one, by the way, the Whitney Museum bought that piece, by the way, and it has a lot of energy into it. One thing about my work, it has a lot of energy and a lot of drive, and it's about my own enormous energy that I put in. Yeah.
Yes. And this is like it's like a whirlwind, you know. It's like a sort of
that's right.
Devilish Sufi dancer or something. Like
that's exactly.
So
Sufi,
the country is sort of, I mean, the sexual country. Those.
Yeah.
Can you say something about those?
Yes.
Entire Birth of the Universe, Crown Jewels, Cockey's Cunt.
Yes. Cockey's Cunt Face. They're all. I like especially the one that is that has these two guys looking at each other, and it's like competition. These two guys that have these, that one, that's, and it's like a balloon on top, and they're thinking, who's got the bigger dick? But it's not basically the size of the phallus. It really is about who has the most power. So that is the subtext of what that's about.
Yeah, fantastic. And maybe I find something else. Just to go, one here you can see again some installation pics.
Oh yes. There's the new museum. The one on my left is the new museum where I did a drawing with paint directly on the glass. That's the first time I did it in glass. And when the light was from the museum, you could see my signature all the way across the street. And then when you go into the space, the one on the bottom is you're going into the space and you're seeing, it's a pocket retrospective. One of the critics wrote, it was very positive, but it was a pocket retrospective. And you see the giant signature on the left side. So it's, and on the back wall, it is, on the back wall of that is a Birth of the Universe. And the top one, the top drawing on the other side is a Hauser and Wirth in London, the Piccadilly space they don't have now, a gorgeous bank space. And they had that dick piece right there, the horizontal. The one on the bottom is a piece that was part of the new museum. It was Fuck War is what it is. It was a political piece that was done. People had a lot of things that they did on the street, but I did Fuck War.
Great. That's a nice final word. But I have to say, Judith Bernstein, you're living since one can see your studio behind you. You're living there and working there. I was there. I was very impressed because you also slept there. You had this corner.
Right.
And it's in Chinatown.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's an incredible space. And you were there since when?
1967, a long time, by the way. When I graduated as a graduate student at Yale, I came to New York, I found this space, and I've been here ever since. It is a space that has been my home. It is cluttered. It has a lot of eccentric stuff, and it is about me. and I'm able to work and live in the same space. So it's been I've been very lucky because it's rent stabilized, and I was able to stay here even when I was not when I was not making a lot of money. So it's been a gift.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so fantastic. You're such a tremendously contemporary artist, you know,
Yes.
like with your protest, with your rebellious attitude, and
Right.
you're totally you know, at the forefront of
Right.
zeitgeist.
Right.
And still your studio is somehow almost romantic, you know, like
Yes.
like
You know something.
almost
You're
romantic artist
yeah.
studio. I love this combination.
Well, you're absolutely right. By the way, I have a lot of tchotchkes. I have dolls. I have all kinds of things that I've collected over the years, and there's something about it that is also very old-fashioned. In addition to the fact that it is of the work is of the moment, but there's something that's very old-fashioned about it also. Yeah.
And that's a nice combination. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it expresses someone who is. I will be 78 in October, and it expresses what I'm about. Yeah.
Yes, but you're healthy. You're well off for the moment.
Yes, I'm not sure what well off means. Is that
No, I mean
health?
well off physically
Yeah.
and
Yes. I'm perfectly fine physically, which is wonderful, and that's a great gift. And
I mean you had some difficult times some years ago, and
yes.
went through real hell, and
Yes, I had physical problems too. Yes, exactly. But those were overcome, and I keep up the enormous energy for my work. You know, I'll tell you something. One thing about it is that when you're ill, you realize how little time you actually have. Especially if someone like myself thought I'd had ad infinitum amount of time to live. Life is very finite. And now I have blinders on, and I do what I have to do in my own work. And my dialogue with my work is the most intense and personal dialogue that I've had throughout my life. Yeah.
that's great. I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so glad for this interview. And I'm thrilled to see you doing work too.
Thank you. Was a pleasure to talk to you, and
Yeah.
I hope to see you again sometime.
I hope so. I hope when you're in New York or when I'm in Zurich, by the way, that will be great. And hopefully when this pandemic kind of subsides, then I'll be in Zurich.
Travel again.
Great.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Judith, bye. See you.
Bye.
Have a good time.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Great.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.